watching the 2015 Relay for Life Telethon on M6, your hometown station.
Hi, I'm Ashley, and me and my brother Austin did the talent show this year. I've been doing the talent show since I was a kid, but we've always talked about doing I Remember You together. He played the guitar, I sang, so that was pretty fun. It was really memorable. And I love that the proceeds go to the American Cancer Society for the Relay for Life, because my family's had cancer and I've always supported this. I've done the Relay for Life since I was a kid, so I think it's just an amazing thing.
Hello and thanks for joining us on the 2015 Relay for Life Telethon on M6, your hometown station. I'm Kara Biskarner, and I'm currently joined by Laura Vaughn with the American Cancer Society. Hello, Laura.
Hi there. Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. I understand that this is the 30th anniversary for the Relay for Life at American Cancer Society.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about how that began?
Yeah, it's really cool because it is the ultimate example of how a grassroots event can turn into now the nation, actually I think it's the world's largest fundraiser.
Wow.
So there was an oncologist named Dr. Gordy Klatt, and he just wanted to be able to do something to raise awareness for all of his patients that were battling cancer. He was a runner, so he thought, you know what, I'm going to go out and I am going to run for 24 hours to see if I can kind of mirror what a cancer patient goes through. So he went out and ran, and all kinds of families and friends came out to support him. And because it was 24 hours, they just started setting up campsites to,
Wow.
get out of the elements. And then the next year it grew, and more people came, and they thought, hey, there's a crowd, so let's do some fundraisers, and Relay for Life was born.
That's crazy, especially it's kind of cool to hear how somebody can take something that they like so much and make it into such a large fundraiser today.
Absolutely.
So what is the main goal or mission for the American Cancer Society?
Well, it's the machine behind the organization that really funds our research, and our goal is to eradicate cancer. We want to end the suffering of cancer patients and help the caregivers and the families that support them. But mainly, we don't want to hear that word anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear it.
No,
Nope.
no, we don't.
So what is your role at the Cancer Society?
So I have the great privilege of being the Relay for Life manager for this territory that's a part of the Detroit metro area, but kind of all the way over here to this area and up to Troy. But I've been a relayer for many, many years, 13 years, and held a variety of different roles with the American Cancer Society. And so just really honored to be able to have this role.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I was telling you a little bit earlier, was that I've been doing Relay as long as I can remember, and I think that is such a great thing. So do you think that the Relay for Life is your biggest event of the year, both planning-wise and money-wise?
Without a shadow of a doubt. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what makes it so large for you?
So we have a Relay for Life in virtually every community in the Detroit metro area. There are over 5,000 Relay for Life events nationwide. So you think about that virtually every community has one.
Yeah.
And all of the volunteers that come out, they're all just graciously raising money to find a cure, and it's just it's mind-boggling how many people are involved.
So besides research activities, can you give us a little better understanding of how the money raised is used to help?
Sure. So a couple different examples, and I can share how I got involved with the American Cancer Society. So my husband and I grew up in Michigan, but we were transplanted down in Arkansas, of all places. And so we met this couple that we became fast friends with, and raised our children together. And one day he was traveling down the road and had a seizure behind the wheel of the car, and they determined that the seizure was caused by stage 4 glioblastoma. So, which is a nasty brain cancer with tentacles that is one of those that you don't want to hear about. So I was not working with the American Cancer Society at the time, but had a friend that worked there. So I reached out, I didn't have any idea what the American Cancer Society did. My goal was to try to get some information and help for the children to see if they could get their minds wrapped around what their dad was going through. So she said, you know what, you need to call our 1-800 number. And so we have a 1-800 number that you can call 24/7, 365 days a year, so we can make sure that information is out there. I called, and this wonderful woman, very compassionate, talked to me about my friend Vince's cancer, talked about his children and his family, and figured out some other needs that he might have and that the family might have. And so a couple days later, this box arrived on my doorstep from the American Cancer Society, and in there were books, tapes, coloring books that the title is My Daddy Has Cancer. We have those available. My mommy has cancer, grandma, grandpa, anybody, that are age appropriate for kids so they can understand. In addition, they sent information on clinical trials that the American Cancer Society supports and are involved with across the nation. And then also Hope Lodge information that we have. We have, I believe the number is 40. There might be more Hope Lodges across the nation. So if somebody's going to get treatment, they can stay there for free up to a year with a guest, and there's often meals provided, entertainment. They're beautiful facilities, and they can get treatment to and from the Hope Lodge to wherever they're receiving treatment. Information on that, and then information on different support groups that were going on for them. And then we also serve as kind of a clearinghouse of resources if there's financial needs. Really anything they need to call that 1-800 number to be able to get plugged into to anything and everything that a cancer patient might need. The other cool thing that they provided was this great folder that had kind of an organizer for all of their doctors, all of their insurance information, that kind of thing that the American Cancer Society provided. So that was just a really added bonus. And then a nice little handwritten note saying that they were going to be thinking about Vince and the family. So that kind of gives an idea of a few other things that the American Cancer Society does and how I got involved.
That's amazing that I didn't realize that they had all that stuff for the kids, and that sometimes people think that it affects the one person, but you got to realize that it affects everyone around them.
Sure.
And I think that's amazing that the American Cancer Society thinks of that.
Yes. And I'll give the plug of the 1-800 number, 1-800-227-2345. That's our best kept secret, and we don't want it to be. We want people to spread the word. And whether also we had a gentleman too that called the 1-800 number every single night because he was on his 7th cancer diagnosis. If you can imagine, he shared that, when you're diagnosed the first time, the second time, the third time, all your friends and family rally, people are there for you, but you kind of wear out your welcome. Often when, who's diagnosed that many times?
Yep.
So he was pretty alienated, and that was his contact, his warmth was calling our 1-800 number and talking to somebody about what he was going through, talking about his day. And so through talking to him, realized that he was really in need of food and nutrition. And so he happened to live near me, and so I swung by and stopped to see him on the way and brought some Ensure, and noticed, there was this kind of dilapidated stairway going into his home that wasn't even really safe for me to get in. When I got in and met him, I realized he was in a wheelchair, and I thought, oh my God, there was just no way, for him to even get out, let alone to access food or anything. So, we came and got some resources and built a ramp and took care of it from there. So, just another way of getting resources that he needed that we wouldn't have otherwise known had he not called the 1-800 number.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
Like, that is amazing to hear.
Yeah, it is.
So, does the money that is raised locally, does it stay local, or does it go for a bigger cause?
Sure. So that's a great question, and one that is really important. We're asked that understandably all the time. So a great example would be that an average cancer patient to go through their journey is about $1 million, whether the insurance company pays for it or they're billed for it. So take the Detroit metro area, we raise about $6 million in Relay for Life alone, right here in this area. So, and there are thousands and thousands of people diagnosed with cancer in the Detroit area, unfortunately. So you think about it, that if we were to just keep the money locally and give it directly to cancer patients, which would be fantastic, we would only be able to help 6 people. So you think about, I wouldn't want to be on that committee to choose the 6 people out of the thousands of people that are diagnosed. So instead, we invest the money in up-and-coming researchers with fantastic ideas. So an example is a really good friend of mine was diagnosed with breast cancer, actually 3 times. And she's taking a drug called Herceptin, which she's going to have to now take the rest of her life, which will keep her alive, hopefully. But the American Cancer Society funded a researcher who developed Herceptin. So he is in Connecticut, and that's where his lab is, and that's where his work is. So if we were to keep the money local too, you wouldn't want that researcher and that drug Herceptin to just only help the people who funded it in Connecticut. Instead, people worldwide are taking Herceptin because of that example.
That's extraordinary to see that something like that's personal to you is what's going on worldwide now. Like
Absolutely. Cancer isn't zip code specific, so neither are we. So we want to make sure people are helped locally, but through drugs that are developed, and the Pap smear, the mammography, PSA test, colonoscopy, all of those the American Cancer Society has had a hand in developing.
Wow.
So you think of everybody who utilizes those life-saving screenings, that's local to me.
All right, thanks for telling us a little bit about that. We'll be back with more right after this.
When I first started here, early on in the school year, I kept on hearing about Relay for Life, Relay for Life, Relay for Life, but I had no idea, and once again it started feeling like something abstract. I didn't know how a high school could tie in to Relay for Life. So as time went on and Mr. Smith and I worked together on some stuff, I went to some meetings. I knew what a pink out game was. I knew what a staff senior games were, but I didn't realize the tie back to Relay. Then when we went through the actual Relay telethon and all the pre-production work that we did, and I'm not specifically talking about communication arts, I'm talking about all the games, the activities, the events, the planning. I was really, really taken by it all. And when I stopped to think about the whole experience, that the students, the staff, and everybody at Marysville has through Relay all year long is just really, really, I think it's unique, and I think it's very, very special. There's a saying that says, "Give until you hurt," and I never understood the meaning of that saying. And one of my favorite rock artists turned that around, and he said, "Give until it feels good." And that's what everybody here at Marysville gets to experience. I think students especially are given the opportunity to see and deal with cancer survivors, caregivers, professionals, and I think students here, when they leave with stronger character, humility, and a sense of community that will absolutely last a lifetime. And that's something you can't teach in a classroom, and you can't buy a textbook for.
Been beat up and battered around. I've been set up and I've been shot down. You're the best thing that I've ever found. Handle me with care. Reputation's changeable, situation's tolerable. Baby, you're adorable. Handle me with care. Well, I'm so tired of being lonely. I still have some love to give. Won't you show me that you really care? Everybody's got somebody to lean on. Put your body close to mine and dream on. I've been fobbed off and I've been fooled. I've been robbed and ridiculed in daycare centers and in night schools. Handle me with thoughts terrorized, center meetings hypnotized, overexposed, commercialized. Handle me with care. Well, I'm so tired of being lonely. I still have some love to give. Won't you show me that you really care? Everybody's got somebody to lean on. Put your body close to mine and dream on. I've been uptight and I've made a mess, but I'll clean it up myself, I guess. Oh, the sweet smell of success. Handle me with care.
I did not have any symptoms that let me know that I had the beginnings of breast cancer. I went to my yearly physical and they detected it in a mammogram. And because it was so early, I was very fortunate in my treatment and diagnosis. The diagnosis that Dr. Damashki shared with me was that they saw a spot on the mammogram and they wanted to do a biopsy to see how advanced it was and how far it had spread. And so that's what we started with. Hearing that I had cancer was, of course, a huge shock, and I was not expecting it. I had been to the doctor originally, and he had originally told me that I did not have cancer. But they sent my biopsy for a second opinion to Ann Arbor, and he called me back in, and I still wasn't expecting that diagnosis, but I was rather shocked. In fact, I ended up running a red light on the way home because I was so distracted running the scenarios through my mind, having known other people who had breast cancer and what could be coming down the road. The treatment that I received was I started with tamoxifen, and I was on tamoxifen for 5 years. Prior to the tamoxifen, I had 6 weeks of radiation 5 days a week, and that took care of everything. I did not have to have chemotherapy because my cancer was in such early stages. The side effects that I noticed, and even more my husband noticed, is that I got very tired from the radiation, and I did have some slight burns, like a bad sunburn from the radiation, but not too much other. So the years of tamoxifen afterwards, I had some joint pain, but after I was off the medication, that went away too. I first found out that I was diagnosed with cancer in May 2005. They immediately started radiation in July, and at the end of August I was finished with the radiation. A year later, they did another mammogram and could not see any more spots. And I went back, even before the year was over, I was going every 3 months for a checkup just to make sure everything was well. And after 5 years, they took me off the tamoxifen, and in a couple weeks, I will be celebrating 10 years of being cancer-free. My support system was mainly my husband, who was there as I would go through the radiation. My daughter came to a couple of appointments with me because she wanted to see what they were doing to her mom. And family and other friends, just sending cards. Mrs. Schmarl was a great one for sending a card every few days. And neighbors brought some food over just because they knew I was getting tired. And so there were quite a few people who supported me through the process. The doctors give me a very positive outlook now because I have gotten to the 10-year mark. Even after 5 years, they said that the chances were very slim, but of course they still want a yearly mammogram and checkups to make sure that it doesn't reoccur. But getting to the 5-year and then the 10-year mark is a very, very good, like 98% chance that I am cured. So it's very hopeful. I feel very connected to other people who have any kind of diagnosis of cancer because I've talked with them about the moment that you're told that you have it and what that feels like, and then who do you lean on, and how do you set your mind to get through the process and have a positive outlook so that you can continue through everything that needs to be done. So I've often talked to other people and helped when I could because I know how scary it is, but how important support can be too. I guess my words of advice are, never be afraid to go to your doctor and make sure you get your yearly checkups for any type of cancer. The positive thing now is there are so many new things that they can do. The survival rate of the cancers have gotten so much better that it's not the death sentence it used to be, and to not be afraid and to lean on other people. That's a very important thing, to not be afraid to lean on somebody who will help you.
Thanks for watching the 2015 Relay for Life Telethon on M6, your hometown station. Thanks for watching the 2015 Relay for Life Telethon on M6, your hometown station.
Hello and welcome back to the 2015 Relay for Life Telethon here on M6, your hometown station. There's still plenty to do for the entire family, including some kids games and the Drive a Dodge fundraiser. And remember, if you can't make it down today, to be sure to call the number at the bottom of your screens and make a donation. Now let's head over to Ryan and Rachel.
Thanks, Kira. I'm here with Michaela from Communication Arts. She's part of the big team that makes this Relay for Life Telethon happen. So Michaela, how long have you been a Communication Arts student?
I've been a communication arts student for about 2 years now. This year I was offered the option of being a super vet, which actually means that I get 2 hours of the class and I get more time to help the students grow and learn what communication arts is all about. So,
Hey, nice.
How long does it take to prep a telethon, and what kind of segments did you guys put together?
we've actually spent about 5 to 6 weeks prepping this telethon this year. We've had some doctors in, some musicians, radiologists and oncologists. And on top of that, our students have gone beyond and above our expectations and created a lot of really good segments that have to do with what relay means to other students. So
Yeah, everybody's working hard.
yeah, most definitely.
So why do you think it's important that Communication Arts does this?
Communication Arts donating all the time they do towards this event allows the students the opportunity to feel like they're part of the community. And not only are they part of the community, but they get to give back and help others in the community, whether they've personally been affected by relay or whether it's just you want to help someone out there that you don't even know yet. So it gives the students a large opportunity to actually help others. And then they get to know that they did a good thing and they get to feel good about helping. So
Well, thank you very much, Michaela. Rachel, you have some pledges for us?
I do have some pledges for us. We have a donation of $50 from Audrey Denarden in memory of Dick Denarden. And a donation of $25 from Dave and Jan Schmarro in memory of Dick Denarden and Mary Schmarro. Thank you guys so much for the donations. Back to you, Kira.
Yes, thank you everybody for donating and making pledges. And also big thank you to everyone who's come down so far. And remember, there's still plenty of time left. Now let's head down to the Commons.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Dylan Pankow, back again with Nick Starra from Drive-A-Dodge. We talked a little bit earlier about the requirements for driving the cars and what kind of cars we had. Now I know that the goal is $2,500. How are you guys doing out there?
We're doing really good. Right now we have $780 raised, and again our goal is $2,500. So please come on down, drive a car. Blue Water Chrysler will donate $20 for every test drive that we do today.
That's right, guys. It's $20 for driving a car for free. You get to take it around the parking lot. I did it earlier. It was a lot of fun. Now, Jacob, who do you have over there with you?
I'm here with Tara Brown from the book club. Okay, so where do the books come from?
All of the books are from the first hour classes at Marysville High School.
Wow. And then what are the prices of the books?
50 cents for hardback and 25 for softcover.
That's cool. So what percentage of the profits go towards Relay for Life?
All the profits are being donated to Relay for Life.
That's pretty cool. Back to you, Kara.
Thanks, guys. I'll have to be sure to check out some of those great things happening downstairs. Now let's check out our tote board. Our previous total was $4,136. And our current total is $6,957. Thank you to everyone who's helped to make this telethon possible. And remember, there's still plenty of time left. So remember, if you can't come in, make sure to call the number at the bottom of your screen. Now let's head to a wonderful talent show segment.
Welcome to the 2015 Relay for Life Telethon on M6, your hometown station.
Marysville students raise money for the Relay for Life fundraiser through many different events throughout the school year, including Marysville High School's talent show. This year's annual show took place on April 1st. Marysville students showed us their talents in a variety of acts, including singing, dancing, and comedy.
Each tryout costing $5 and each student attending paying $2, the accumulated money went to the Relay for Life fundraiser. Thank you to everyone that helped make the talent show possible.
I hope you're enjoying our 8th annual Marysville High School's Relay for Life Telethon. We are now joined by Lisa Holber and her very special dog, Effie. It's wonderful to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you too.
I understand that your cancer was diagnosed in a very unusual way. Could you tell us how Effie helped alerting you?
Effie is a rescue dog, and one day she jumped up on the couch and she stuck her nose in my chest. And I pushed her away, but she came right back and she was really nuzzling at me. I thought I had mustard on my shirt or something like that, so I pushed her away again. The next day she did it again. Third day she did it again. So my husband said, "You've got to get checked." I'd already had a mammogram and it was clear. So I went to my family doctor and I asked them, I told them what the dog was doing, and they suggested that I get not only another mammogram, but also an ultrasound. So I went and I had another mammogram over here at Port Huron Hospital, and it was absolutely clear. And I went across the hall and had an ultrasound, and they found stage 3 breast cancer. It accounts for 15% of all breast cancer. It's called a invasive lobule carcinoma.
How long did it take for you to realize that there was something wrong, that Ellie was like actually trying to tell you something?
Well, it was that third day when she came back to me again, you know, and the way that she was doing it wasn't like normal sniffing. She was serious about it.
What treatments did you go through?
I had 4 different kinds of chemotherapy. I had a double mastectomy, reconstruction, and 6 weeks of radiation. I'm still on a chemotherapy that I have to take for 5 years called tamoxifen.
What challenges did you face going through treatment?
Nausea, a lot of nausea. Effie was with me a lot, so the depression and everything never hit me. You know, the only thing that made me sad, the only thing that made me cry was her gift to me. I'm not a woe is me kind of person, so yeah, her gift to me, it kept me going.
That's wonderful.
As well as, yeah.
How did she become part of your family?
I foster for a rescue organization called Last Day Dog Rescue. And I take on mama dogs and their puppies. And she was my second or third dog I'd taken on, and she had 7 puppies when I got her. She weighed 27 pounds. She weighs 70 pounds now. Wow. Yeah. So she was in really bad shape. She had every parasite known to man. And we cared for her. We cared for the puppies. The puppies all got adopted. And because she digs holes in the yard, she growled at children at the time. She was really head shy around men. Nobody wanted her. Her meet and greets didn't go very well, and nobody wanted her. So the rescue organization asked if I would be interested in adopting her. And literally, we kind of hemmed and hawed about it, but we did. We decided to take her.
Do you think this is just a phenomenon with your dog, or do you think other dogs can detect cancer?
I actually think every dog can. But dogs don't know to tell us. They don't know that that's important to us. With Effie, we had a kitty cat who died of cancer, and she had bonded with that kitty cat. And I think that that's what it was that taught her that that's something serious.
Yeah.
You need to tell somebody. So that's exactly what she did. There's an organization called the Pine Street Foundation. I don't know if I can talk about that, but the Pine Street Foundation is doing clinical trials and in a clinical setting doing training to teach dogs to find cancer, all different kinds of cancer.
What is it like being a survivor, and how do you define being a survivor?
Being a survivor is waking up the day after the diagnosis. When you wake up that next day, you're a survivor. And it starts right there, and your family and your friends are all behind you, rooting for you and everything. That's survival, you know?
Yeah. How do you show your support for others with cancer?
I do a lot of talks with Bark for Life, because my special Effie here. We talk at the Survivor Picnic at Mercy Hospital every year. I've represented Intertape Polymer Group in Relay for Life. We just tell our story. We tell our story everywhere that we can. And I have had people left and right tell me that because of my dog, they've taken their dog seriously.
What doctors help you along with your journey?
Well, first, my family doctor, Michelle Raymond, she was incredible. Just the fact that she listened to me and understood that what I was saying, what the dog was saying, was serious. And then my first doctor that I went to was my surgeon, Clark Paul, Michelle Clark Paul. She had lost her dog the day of my double mastectomy. And her and I, we really bonded over the dog issue, you know. And Effie actually found, after the biopsy, they had taken most of the tumor and most of the breast. Well, Effie came right up and started sniffing under my arm after that surgery. So when I told the surgeon what she was doing, the surgeon marked the spot. And Effie, after the surgery, the doctor came out, and instead of telling my husband that I was okay, or that the surgery went well, they said, your dog was right on. It was the only lymph node out of the 27 lymph nodes that they pulled that it was exactly where she had marked.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so she actually found it twice.
How's life been after all your treatments, and do you have any specific plans for the future?
My plan is to live life. When you go through something like that, it gives you a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So we're living every day, living for ourselves, living for fun, living for love.
Any special plans with Effie?
Well, she's spoiled rotten. I don't force her to do tricks. So she doesn't know any. So her special plan, we just bought a farm. So she's going to live her life out.
Oh,
and
she gets to run around.
Yeah, pampered luxury.
Oh, good. I understand you said earlier that you work with a specific foundation. Can you explain more about the Pine Street Foundation?
Yeah, and it's not that I've worked with them. There's a book by National Geographic that they put Effie in. And in that article, they mention the Pine Street Foundation and the work that they're doing. Basically, they're just getting dogs to detect cancer.
Mm-hmm.
All different kinds of cancer, prostate cancer, breast cancer, brain cancer, and they're putting the scent on scent bags, and they'll have a whole array of them, and the dog will sniff each one and sit down or trigger at the one that has the cancer. And the dogs are doing really, really well. Once they know that we want to know what cancer is, they're happy to tell us.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for coming in. And thank you, Effie.
Well, thank you for having us.
Well, we are learning about cancer every day. We hope you will continue to watch our telethon. Or better yet, join us today at Marysville High School to get involved with all the activities.
A tribute to the athletes of America who have been affected by cancer.
Rising up to fight another day. The challenger stands in the way. Though the road is long, our faith will keep us strong. Against the wind, this flame shall never fade. I'm walking for you, brother, running for you, sister, fighting back with coming for you, sister. Fighting back with every step I take. Together we belong. Love soldiers marching on. And we won't slow down until we win this fight. 'Cause it's one dream, one team in the relay for life. In the relay for life. It's a relay for life.
Together we can tackle,
Hit, block,
and kick
cancer from our lives.
My relationship to the patient was, she was my mother and she was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian and colon cancer. The first symptoms that we noticed was her stomach was growing at a rapid pace at a short amount of time. My first reaction to the news was complete denial, then shock, devastation. The most significant challenges to aiding and support were taking her to the doctor, which was located in Southfield. I was required to miss a lot of time from work. Luckily, the FMLA came into effect then. She was widowed, so I was the only one to give her all the support, the transportation, and any medical techniques that I could supply. The time frame from initial diagnosis to the time of death was 18 months. She was diagnosed. She went into the hospital as soon as possible. They tried to remove the tumor. It was a lot more advanced than they thought it would be. They gave her 18 to 24 months. At that time, I asked the doctor not to say that to her so she would not give up hope, because there was an experimental procedure that they wanted to try on her. They took her down to Southfield and they put a port in her, and every other week she had to go in and have this experimental drug put into the port, and they would rotate the table to coat her abdomen. This went on for maybe a month, and she developed infection, so they had to stop the treatment. So therefore that stopped the experimental treatment. From then she went to back to her doctor, and he decided to put her on chemo and radiation. She did that for probably 6 months in the standard, lost her hair, the nausea, vomiting. And then she was told maybe there's a hospital in Chicago, the Karmanos Hospital for cancer. They told her that they might have a treatment for her. She went down there and they discussed it with her. They told her that she had to go 6 weeks without any chemo, and at the end of the 6 weeks she went back and her cancer count had skyrocketed, so they told her she was no longer a candidate for that. So they sent her back to her original doctor. He examined her, and the cancer had spread significantly into her lungs, into her liver, And basically, they gave her 6 months to live. The advice I would give somebody is completely to listen to the person, let them talk to them, just provide support for them any way you can.
The days come easy and the moments pass slow, and each road leads you where you wanna go. And if you're faced with a choice and you have to choose, I hope you choose the one that means the most to you. And if one door opens to another door closed, I hope you keep on walking till you find the window. If it's cold outside, show the world the warmth of your smile. But more than anything, my wish for you is that this life becomes all that you wanted to. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things too. Yeah, this is my wish. I hope you never look back, but you never forget all the ones who love you and the place you left. Hope you always forgive and you never regret, and you help somebody every chance you get. Oh, you'll find God's grace in every mistake, and always give more than you take. But more than anything, yeah, more than anything, my wish for you is that this life becomes all that you wanted to. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things too. Yeah, this is my my wish for you is that this life becomes all that you wanted to. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things too. Yeah, this is my somebody loves you. May all your dreams stay big.
Thanks for watching the Marysville High School Relay for Life Telethon today. Joining us now is Ms. Sharon Wilton from the American Cancer Society. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
What is the goal or mission of the American Cancer Society?
Well, our mission overall is to end cancer, and we do that through research and funding researchers to help us find those cures and treatments to help people survive.
What is your role in the American Cancer Society?
I'm the community manager, so I staff 4 Relay for Life events around our area. I also assist with other health initiatives in our Making Strides Against Breast Cancer event.
Is the Relay for Life your biggest event of the year, both money-wise and planning-wise?
Absolutely. We really still plan Relay all year round, even though it happens once a year. And we have 5,600 relays that happen around the country every single year.
And our local one this year at the mall, when is that happening?
That's May 16th and 17th. We start at 10 a.m. on the 16th and end at 7 a.m. on Sunday the 17th.
Why has the Birchwood Mall been the site for the past few years?
Well, first of all, we try to choose venues that are of no cost to us. We want to maximize all the dollars that we raise and not spend anything on expense if we can help it. So the mall's been gracious to host us, and so it's a great place. It's right in the corner, so it's visible, and we just transform that parking lot into a track.
Oh, wonderful. I understand that the St. Clair County has 2 other relays. When and where are they located?
Sure. East China, we have that event is June 13th, and that's at the East China Stadium on Meisner Road. And then KPAC has an event at their high school stadium June the 20th. Those events are both only 12 hours. We have some changes this year with Relay. We've been relaying for 30 years now, and so we've offered some changes to our communities that may not be able to do those overnight events. So Port Huron's still going to be about 22 hours. The other 2 are 12 hours.
Okay. Besides the Relay for Life, what are the other fundraisers that your group does throughout the year?
Sure. Our organization has actually several fundraisers. Making Strides Against Breast Cancer is a big initiative that happens in October, and so we have specific staff roles that handle those. We have other fundraisers such as a Cattle Barons Ball, and but Relay is really our highest fundraising event.
The money that's raised locally, does that stay locally?
Well, it does in a sense that we all benefit from the work that we do at the American Cancer Society. We all benefit from the research in terms of testing guidelines, if we were to be diagnosed with cancer, the treatments and things like that are as a result of what we have done. So we all benefit. But locally we do have programs such as Look Good, Feel Better, which is for ladies who are going through cancer treatment. We also have a program called Road to Recovery, in which we have drivers trained to help patients get to their treatment appointments if they need that.
Besides the research activities, can you give us a little better understanding of how the money is used to help?
Sure. Research is really our primary goal, and we fund many, many programs. Every year, $100 million goes into research programs all around the country. But then we also have an 800 number and our website, which anyone has access to, and we talk to millions of people every year, and we help answer their questions or concerns. If someone's diagnosed with cancer, they're able to call us, get information. We send out a great kit that they can keep their information in, their appointments and test results and things like that. A lot of services through that 800 number on the website.
Sounds like you're doing some great work.
Thank you. We are. Thank you.
I hope you'll keep watching the Marysville High School Relay for Life Telethon.
Thanks for watching the 2015 Relay for Life Telethon on M6, your hometown station.